Good afternoon. Down here, just outside the ring road on Oxford Street, the other side of the road from Crookes Valley Park, where I had a walk around last week, I think it was. So today, I'm going to walk around an area that's known locally as the Ponderosa. All this used to be a reservoir at one point, hence why it's kind of like a great big bowl shaped space, but there's no water in it anymore, so we're just going to have a walk around here. It's quite a big site. They used to have a festival here, which I've been to a couple of times, called Peace in the Park. I don't know whether that's... Actually, I don't think they have that here anymore, but correct me if I'm wrong. I have been to it at least once down here. So, there we go. All that was full of water. I don't know, 100 years ago, maybe a bit longer. This was a huge kind of reservoir, far bigger than Crookes Valley Park boating lake is. This was much bigger. It's kind of a full-size reservoir. Now, I don't actually know why they discontinued its use, because it looked like it would have been very useful. Still, what do I know? As you can see, there's a big drop down there, so this would have all been very deep water back when it was a reservoir. So we're descending into the bottom of the lake. I am, of course, in a frogman's outfit, which is why I'm not submerged in water now. I mean, it'd be weird exploring this place when it was full of water, but we can't do that now. So we're about where we are here, we're about, I would say, 300 metres away from the ring road, just as it's Upper Hanover Street near the University tram stop. Wow, look at these. Are these original gate posts? But what were there being gate posts for? Because I thought all this was a reservoir. Or maybe when they built this original reservoir, they flooded some old houses. Oh, I have to do some research into that. The Ponderosa, as this is known. Oh, I don't know where that name came from. To me, it's just the other side of the road from Crookes Valley Park, and this is still Crookes Valley. Now, I take it this isn't an original feature, it's something that was probably added, although it looks very old, but I'm guessing it's some kind of modern creation, like standing stones. Oh, sorry, have we come to Stonehenge today by mistake? Or Avebury, the creepy stones at Avebury. I'll have to go back there sometime. So this is where they used to have the festival Peace in the Park. As I said, I don't know whether they still have it here. I haven't been, last time I went to that festival has got to be probably Oh, we're talking 2011 and something like that when it was down here. So we're now all the way down, right on the bottom of what would have been the lake or the reservoir. In fact, you can see an embankment there, so maybe this whole space was not full of water all the way up to the road. That looks like an embankment round there, so not quite as much water here. Yeah, you can see this is shaped like a shallow bowl. We're walking across the bottom of the reservoir, but there's a distinctive edge to it round there. It's a Tuesday and it's April. Good weather today, good weather tomorrow as well, so tomorrow I'm out filming. I thought I'd come here today across this one off the map because I've never walked around here unless there's been an event on here, so it's good to see it as a big open space. So there's a natural embankment all the way round there, about 180 degrees all round there, but here where did the reservoir actually end? Although I suspect they have filled a lot of it in. So maybe the ground here went down a lot further. Yeah. So as you can see, if you've never been here, it's quite a big green space that goes all the way down there. What I don't know is, was all this the reservoir or just this bit here? Well, this looks like, yeah, this I think is an embankment, so I'm guessing this was one side of the original reservoir and we're walking down into a different area. So I don't know. It's a warm day. I'm not wearing a hoodie for the first time in a while. It's actually very pleasant. A little bit windy today. I've got the wind filter set to medium. I try not to put it on high, as I've said before, because it just makes my voice sound really even stranger than it does. So yeah, I remember all this space. It was full of tents and stages when it was used for Peace in the Park. I'm sure it was 2011 when I came here. It could have been 2010 actually. I don't know. Anybody know if the festival Peace in the Park still runs and where? Big tower blocks there. I don't know what those tower blocks are called. That's sort of Crookes area, or is that looking over to Lower Walkley? Maybe it is. Let's just go to the edge and see where we are. It's a church. Is a church still a church, or is it now student apartments? Who knows? You can never tell till you get up close. This is St Stephen's Road, S3. So, if this is St Stephen's Road, this probably could be St Stephen's Church, as was. Let's see what it says. This is the church letterbox. Okay, well, what's the name? Is it St Stephen's? You would expect it to say somewhere. Well, I know it says St Stephen's letterbox. Doesn't sound quite as grand as St Stephen's Chapel or Church of the Whistling Chipsticks or something. Fawcett Street, there's a new one on me. There's a pub over there called the Boomerang. Not one I've heard of. That's Finlay Street over there. Little shops here. One, anyway. Finlay Street is at the front of the church. Celebrate Easter here. Okay, well, you're a couple of days late, but I'll let you off. That's nice. Nice church. That's certainly been here longer than all these modern what do you call those if it's kind of 2 stories high, 3 stories high row of buildings. They're not flats, are they? Except that they would be. That looks like it was a school at one time. It's got that sort of feel about it. Maybe it still is. Maybe. Looks like an old school. That was a sign, it's disappeared. Oh, Bethany School. This is Bethany School. Alright. Didn't know that. The Boomerang. Never heard of that pub. Any good? Does anybody know it? St Stephen's, Netherthorpe. Tenants and residents. So this is part of Netherthorpe, which is quite a big area. The other part of that I'll be doing later in the series. So what's this? We're on Bellefield Street. Bellefield Street. Now let's go back inside. The Ponderosa, Bellefield Street, S3. Off the beaten track. Let's just glide. Lots of blocks of flats around here. Yeah, this is all still the place where they used to have the Peace in the Park festival. I remember it going down quite a long way. So this is Netherthorpe. or part of it. And we are pretty close to the ring road, as I said. I think we're only a couple of 100 metres away from it, over that way. Well, it's not the same without the Peace in the Park festival. Nowhere to get a coffee or a pizza. Can't go and see any bands playing here. Can't sit on the grass with a tin of milk. You know, I expected it to be busier than this since it's such a nice warm day. I think it's about 15 or 16 degrees today. So this is what it's all about on the Sheffield Walkabout and the great beyond. Look at those vistas. Look at that background. See those 2 blocks of flats there to the right of the second block? There's a tower on the hill. Looks like a TV transmitter or something. I don't know what that is. Oh, there's a pub. That's the White Hart. I remember going in there. That was open during the Peace in the Park festival. Popped in there for a drinky because it was somewhat cheaper than the mobile bar inside the park. That's a real locals place, I remember. Got stared at by the locals for looking like festival goers. You know what people wear at festivals. It's somewhat different if you're a local. So the White Hart, is it actually still a pub? It looks in a real sorry state. I've no idea if that's still open. Looks a mess. So here we are, Dover Street, leading to Ellison Street and Netherthorpe Street, leading to Dover, Bonville, Morpeth Gardens. Never heard of them. Yeah, the ring road, you could just see the ring road at the end of this road there, down there. So I should probably go filming down on that part. Yeah, the White Hart looks, it's dropping to bits, isn't it? I don't think that's a pub anymore. A shame. Still, as you know, it's not a good time for pubs. Hasn't been for quite a few years. Closing all over the place. Electricity and gas prices, you know, staff wages have gone up. It must be hell, actually, trying to make ends meet running a pub. Been there, done that. Dove and Rainbow, to be precise. Had joint ownership of that a few years back. Well, actually, it did make some money at the time, but things were better 15 years ago for pubs. Noticeably much better in terms of the economy. So that's St Phillips Road over there. This is... what's this? Is this Upperthorpe Road? I think I saw it. Upperthorpe Road. That runs up to the Walkley area, I think. Montgomery Terrace Road there. Oh, I know that. That goes... comes down near... oh yeah, the big Tesco, I think, is down there. I think. Yeah. S3. Let's go back in. I'm always looking for shots that have a cinematic quality. Block of flats through the trees, just moving slowly. I think that's cool. Philadelphia Pub Function Suite. Pub called the Philadelphia? Don't know that one. Oh, here we are. The Ponderosa. It's a bit blemished, I can't really read it. If you want to try and read that, pause it and see if you can make anything out, because the sun's in my eyes so I can't see it. That's all about the Ponderosa. Over there, the legendary University Arts Tower, which I have yet to explore. I'm going to be doing that soon. I was planning to do it this week actually, but the weather's going to be good for the next couple of days, so I'm going to try and be outside. Can go inside buildings when there's a force 10 gale outside. The Philadelphia. Anybody heard of that pub? I haven't. I used to live not far from here actually. I used to live in Walkley on Howard Road. So this is very close, but never really came down into this area. When I went out drinking, it tended to be either in town or pubs in Walkley, many of which no longer exist. I should be doing a walkabout in Walkley. A walkabout in Walkley. And looking at some of those pubs that simply don't exist anymore. We're only talking about the 1980s here. Wow. It's yesterday, really. That's a nice mural. Flowers, butterflies, ladybird, some birds. Oh, that's good. I do like street art. Oh yeah. Far better than graffiti, don't you think? If it's done well. Blossom on the trees. White blossom around here. I'm looking forward to see the cherry blossoms. Where I live there's a whole street full of cherry blossoms and they absolutely come alive in kind of probably at the end of this month, early May. So if you don't know this area, it's very close to the ring road opposite Crookes Valley Park. It's a big green space, nice and quiet. Come here for a picnic or walk the dog or you know. So yeah, it's just about the right size for a nice, kind of fairly long dog walk. can just go all the way round or cut across the green part.